The girl had only glanced out the window, and she noticed something suspicious about the new neighbors across the street. They had chosen to move in the middle of the night, and they were all dressed in black late at night. Even stranger was that the whole family suddenly turned and stared in this direction. The siblings felt a chill run down their spines from the stare. These were definitely not normal people. Emma decided to secretly investigate. A few days later, in the morning, another delivery worker brought over 2 large boxes. She had no idea what was inside, but they were heavier than expected. Based on the information on the shipping label, they learned the family's last name was Braun. They came from Rivne in Ukraine. The siblings had never heard of that place. They only knew it was near Russia. Apparently they urgently needed 2 refrigerators, so they had specially ordered them from Russia. Seeing no one responded at the house, the delivery worker followed the instructions on the order and left the 2 boxes on the driveway. But Emma found it strange. The neighbor's car was still in the garage, so they had to be home. But why wouldn't they answer the door? The more she thought about it, the more curious she became. She kept guessing the neighbors' identities. Maybe they were some kind of agents. At that moment, their mother was rushing to work and accidentally bumped into the mailman. But the man looked exhausted. He seemed extremely weak, like he was suffering from severe anemia. Then D-Day suddenly noticed a large bandage on his neck. It must have been covering a serious wound. Emma felt a vague sense of unease.
Have you met the new neighbors yet?
Oh yeah. They stopped by my house the other night just to get acquainted. That's the night I'll never forget.
Why, were they strange or something?
No, it's the night I started getting sick.
The mailman assumed it was just because he was old and sick, and didn't think much of it. From then on, Emma began closely watching the neighbors, and found that this family was incredibly strange. They didn't speak a word to the neighbors. No one had ever seen them during the day. The whole family only went out at night. Even their son Lex had never been seen during the daytime. Emma had just stepped out to throw away the trash when a boy's voice came from behind her, asking if he could come over and play at her house. Emma immediately felt something was off, so she quickly said it was too late. Lex didn't say anything, and quietly turned around and left. Based on the information Emma gathered, Lex didn't go to school, and no one had ever heard of this kid. The days that followed became even stranger. The strange illness the mailman had started spreading rapidly through the neighborhood. People gradually lost their usual energy. No one knew what was going on, but ever since the Braun family moved in, this illness had started to spread. Putting all these clues together, Emma became even more convinced of her judgment, until one night, the bedroom window suddenly opened, and she instantly felt a chill down her back. She saw someone floating in midair, slowly moving closer to her, then revealing sharp fangs. Emma suddenly woke up from the dream, and quickly touched her neck to check. Although it was just a false alarm, she was now completely certain that family were vampires. Emma hurried to tell her brother. They should have realized it sooner.
Here, Rovno, Ukraine. That's right in the middle of all those places. Romania, Bulgaria, Transylvania.
Those places were the origin of vampires. That explained the illness, and the bandage on the neck, as well as the 2 huge crates. They were not refrigerators at all, but coffins for them to sleep in during the day. Dee didn't believe it. How could vampires exist in this world? Emma decided to sneak into their basement, while they were out, to check for herself. If they were really refrigerators, that would prove she was wrong. But if she found coffins, then they would be in serious trouble. Just to be safe, Emma hung garlic around the house, and told her brother to remember one thing. Vampires cannot enter a house freely, unless they are invited by the residents. Dee casually agreed. After observing for a long time, Emma noticed the family left at the same time every night. They were probably going out to find fresh blood. She managed to sneak into the basement. In the corner, there was a locked iron door. It couldn't be opened quickly. Emma then walked over to a red cloth and lifted it to reveal a refrigerator. It was indeed ordered from Russia, but it was strange why they would lock a refrigerator. They must be hiding something. Luckily, Emma knew how to pick locks, so she started trying to open it. Meanwhile, the boy heard the doorbell ring and didn't expect it to be the Braun family.
Might we come in?
Sure, come on in. No, wait, my dad's not home, and, maybe you should come back another time. Bye!
Just as Dee thought he had avoided trouble, their mother learned someone was visiting, and quickly opened the door to welcome them. The boy thought he was doomed, but they seemed very friendly. The couple usually worked night shifts, and didn't have much time to take care of their son. Ever since they moved here, Lex's health hadn't been very good. Their mother curiously asked about their jobs. The couple paused for a moment, and explained they were studying emergency medical services, following ambulances to learn techniques, then bringing that knowledge back to their country, though the work process was somewhat bloody. Hearing that description, The boy began to believe his sister's guess. After the introductions, they planned to leave. Their mother had a good impression of them and said they could visit any time, but Emma still hadn't returned. Seeing this, Dee quickly tried to stop them and claimed he could play games with Lex, but they showed no reaction. Mr. Braun told him not to worry. Since they had already been invited, he promised his son would come again. Dee stood there frozen. This time real trouble was coming. At that moment, Emma finally opened the lock. The boy rushed in to warn her. The family had come back. Before leaving, Emma quickly opened the refrigerator lid and found it filled with bottles of blood. No wonder they needed such a big fridge. At that moment, a door closed upstairs. They didn't have time to think and hurriedly covered it back up, but forgot to lock the refrigerator again. The two rushed home to discuss what to do. The blood already proved the neighbor's identity. They were definitely vampires. The most urgent problem now was, the family had received their mother's invitation. Next time they would attack them.
We gotta tell somebody. Mom and Dad. Or the police.
They'll never believe us. We're the only ones who know, and we're the only ones who can stop them.
As for how to stop them, the only option was to strike first, after school the next day. Before it was completely dark, Emma made a cross amulet and wore it just in case. Now while they were in their coffins, she had to drive a stake into their hearts. The siblings sneaked into the basement again. Emma figured out the location of the coffins. They had to be behind that iron door. This lock wasn't too difficult to open. It just took a bit more time. Unexpectedly, just as Emma unlocked it, the basement light suddenly turned on. At this time, the vampires should have been asleep. The siblings didn't have time to think and quickly hid under the table. After Emma locked it again, someone walked up to the table, as if noticing something unusual. Dee was afraid he might crouch down. Luckily, the man didn't look down. A horn sounded outside urging him, and he finally left the basement. Seeing him close the door again, the boy wondered who that was. Could there be a fourth person? Emma couldn't figure it out either, and gave up continuing the plan. They had just climbed out of the basement when they ran into the Braun couple, but how could they appear during the day? Emma held up a cross to protect herself, but they showed no reaction at all, and smiled, saying she was interesting. At that moment, the boy asked curiously, what was in Mr. Braun's hand?
It's blood from the hospital. They have a surplus and we've been storing the extra units here for them.
They. Lex is still not feeling very well. We thought having a friend might help. Would it be alright if he came over to your house to play video games with you tonight?
Hearing this, Dee dropped his doubts
yeah, sure.
and agreed to let Lex come over. The couple made plans to meet later. That explained the blood in the refrigerator. Emma had to admit, maybe she had been overthinking things. The couple could appear during the day, which meant they couldn't be vampires. They put the blood into the refrigerator. Even if the others had discovered something, it didn't matter anymore. Then the locked iron door was opened, awakening its master who had slept all day. Now the sun was about to set. There would be new victims tonight. The Braun couple were not vampires at all.
You are wise in coming to this country. There is so much more fresh blood here.
And no one believes that a little boy can be a vampire.
They were just human servants, and Emma's family, because of the mother's invitation, had already been placed on the list of prey.